Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video here. So let's talk about something that I can't believe I missed. And so I saw this here yesterday and I was like, I can't believe I actually missed this. And when you put all the scenes together, it actually makes perfect sense as to how Daryl and Carol are going to be getting out of this situation where they're trapped in a car. And that is Daryl's going to create a variant walker, or I guess a super walker, and he's actually going to create a super walker to kill all the walkers around him, it seems like. And then that's how they escape. But then they also have to deal with the super walker, right? So yeah, a lot to talk about here. So before going any further, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my walking content like this. I personally can't believe I actually missed that. I saw a lot of people talking about this on X or Twitter. So yeah, shout out to everyone talking about this, because I can't believe I never actually caught that. I mean, it makes sense when you watch the trailer, you actually see a moment like that happen, but I wasn't looking that in depth on this. And so I kind of, honestly, I feel bad that I missed this. But in this scene right here where we do see Daryl and Carol and potentially Ash, I don't know if Ash is going to be in the scene or not. I just know that there's somebody in the driver's seat, and again, it could just be a walker. It might not be Ash at all, but it's somebody. And Daryl, at one point when him and Carol are stuck in the car here, he actually goes through the sunroof here, and he has, I thought it was just a crossbow, and I was mentioning the other day, maybe he takes out a walker and then maybe he like jumps over all the walkers or something. Like maybe that was his plan, just to sort of, you know, stand on top of the roof here and like everyone stand on the roof. But when you're actually watching the trailer way more in depth, no, it looks like what's going to be happening here is, first of all, Daryl's going to go through the sunroof here. He does have a weapon here that at first I didn't recognize, and I was like, this isn't the crossbow. And then if you actually look at the walker on the right here, and I actually talked about this like the other day, but the one thing that I completely missed is if you actually go to this one shot right here of this walker. So first of all, you go back to the other shot and you could actually see the same walker walking up towards Daryl, and you could tell that the walker just passed that one wooden platform right there. So Daryl at this point in this shot goes through the sunroof, and I think is going to look around, and then he looks to his left, sees that walker, and then shoots that walker. And then we get to this shot right here where we see him shoot this walker with the serum, and this is the serum that creates the super walkers. And so obviously Daryl knows that, you know, that's how you create super walkers. I don't think Carol or anyone else is going to know what's happening, honestly. I think Daryl is probably just going to reunite with Carol at some point, probably like just before this or something. I'm assuming anyways. And so he has this gun. I have a lot of questions on why he has this gun specifically, but we'll talk about that in a second. And so he just looks around, sees this walker, and is like, you know what? I know how these walkers operate. If I kill this super walker, then it's going to turn and it's going to kill all the walkers around us, which is absolutely insane. So you're using that weapon, you know, for your own benefit. You're actually using the walkers to help you out, which is just something so different. And just, I honestly, it's crazy because I don't know if anyone has ever used walkers to like kill other walkers before. I don't think that's ever been done on The Walking Dead. Like, I'm looking back at the original series, they've used walkers in like different ways and clever ways to sort of do certain things. Or like you look at the Whispers, you know, you would use the walker hordes to sort of maybe go through communities, or like, you know what I mean? You would do certain things like that to your own advantage, but never in this way where you actually use the walker to kill the other walkers, because obviously walkers don't normally kill other walkers, right? So this was honestly insane to see, like crazy to see. And I think that's one of the things that I find honestly really interesting about where they're going to go for season 2, because obviously we see other shots of variant walkers not killing each other, right? Not killing other walkers or anything, or they're not killing other super walkers. And so maybe they still kill walkers, which would be crazy if that's what happened to walkers eventually. Like super walkers killed all the normal walkers, and so they became the more dominant walker, right? Like everywhere. But we know at some point later on in the season that the super walkers aren't going to be killing each other like they did in the very last episode of season 1, right? Or episode 5? No, it's episode 6. So Pouvoir is going to, you know, fix, I guess, their research and whatnot, and obviously at some point like that will be okay. But at this point here, Daryl obviously has some of the old serum here, because obviously this walker here is likely going to kill all the walkers, because I've seen a lot of scenes of Carol in this vehicle and there's like blood all over the windows and all of that. So I think what's going to happen is Daryl's going to look around, see this walker, shoot this walker, turn this walker to a super walker. This walker is going to go absolutely insane and kill all the walkers all around this vehicle here. And it's just going to look absolutely crazy everywhere. Like, I think it's going to be one of those things where after they deal with that, it's like, okay, yeah, now we can escape, but we have to deal with a super walker. Like, and that's the crazy thing though. That shows how desperate of a situation they were in here, right? To see all these walkers around them, how do you get out of a situation like this? Like, this is honestly really, really terrifying, because if Daryl didn't have that gun, there was no way they were getting out of this. And so it really was the perfect moment to have the gun. And just a scene like this in general, honestly, this is really amazing writing. This is a really cool scene that I think a lot of people that haven't watched The Walking Dead in a long time are probably going to see this scene and be like, whoa, that's really cool. This is why super walkers are so exciting. This is why that whole thing of making walkers way more exciting is just something that you have to do right now, because we're at that point where you just have to. Like, back in the day, like when The Walking Dead first started, I think the walkers at first were very exciting because they were brand new. And then over time, they got very, very, I would say, boring. And by the end of the series, obviously, it definitely got a lot more boring. I would say that the Whisperers were exciting, but you could see in that final season there, a lot of people wanted these like walkers that were starting to evolve a lot, right? And so that's why with Daryl Dixon, a lot of the excitement with the show is the fact that we have super walkers. And so they need to really explore a lot more of this. And I hope that this arc doesn't end in season 2. And if it does, just do something different with, new variant walkers in season 3, where you make them more terrifying and whatnot, right? Like, I just think that you have to go in that direction, because people could lose a lot of interest. Because the reason why people love the Walking Dead so much is because you love the characters, but you love the fact that you're in these situations where it's absolutely insane. And again, the world is so grounded and you feel like you know these characters, or that you would be one of these characters, right? And so you see them in situations like this, and walkers aren't really that terrifying anymore to, I think, most people. And so you have to make walkers that are going to be terrifying for people. And these super walkers are that, which is why the show feels so fresh and exciting, because it feels like a totally new Walking Dead, right? So I'm definitely really excited for this scene. I really cannot wait to see this play out. Does this happen in episode 2, episode 3? Like, I feel like it has to happen earlier. Now, I do have some questions as to why Daryl does have that weapon, though. I mean, obviously, where he's at right now, he's at the nest. He doesn't have the weapon. Maybe he finds it at some point when he escapes Madame Genet's base, because obviously him, I know Lo Sang, and there's a few other characters are going to be taken captive. And I mean, Carol could be there. That could be how they escape. So maybe this is like episode 4 or something like that. I'm not entirely sure where this is going to be. I don't think it's going to be that late in the series, though. I'm thinking maybe not episode 2 right away. Maybe Daryl's held captive or something throughout episode 2, but then escapes at the end. Carol's there. Honestly, I don't even really know how a lot of this is going to play out. I think that Daryl and Carol, like, once they reunite, I'm assuming they're going to be together the entire time, but maybe Carol's like, you know what, I'm going to go join Madame Genet's side because I can. I'm going to pretend I don't know you, this and that, and I'll learn whatever I can. And then Daryl is doing other stuff, right? And now he knows that Carol's here. And so it just adds a whole other different, side to the whole story here. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see how all of this goes here. But just a really incredible scene that I completely missed. This was from the teaser trailer that came out the other day. And again, I still can't believe that I actually missed this here. Like, this is honestly a really incredible scene from the teaser trailer. And I saw another one that came out today. There's constant new trailers that are coming out right now, like teaser trailers. And yeah, I'll do a video on it if there's a lot more scenes. Like the one that came out today, there's a couple of new scenes. And so I'll do a video on it if there's other Walking Dead news to talk about as well. Or if they release another one, then I'll just combine everything together. I always want there to be a lot to talk about in a video, specifically about a scene. So yeah, for those asking about that. But yeah, definitely really cool here. I'm so excited. We are exactly 12 days away now until The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon returns, and I can't wait. I honestly, this show looks absolutely incredible, and a scene like this is why I really love this show. I can't wait to see the Walker like actually turn to the Super Walker, because we only really saw that, I guess, 2 times in the finale, but we're going to be seeing it here, and I wonder if this is where Carol first sees the Super Walker. Like, I really wonder, I mean, I don't even know, like, I don't even think she's going to be able to see what's actually happening because there's so many walkers around. Like, I wonder if Carol at this point is just like, Daryl, what are you doing? Whatever. And he doesn't say anything. And he just goes through the sunroof, shoots that walker or whatever, turns that walker to a Super Walker. And then all of a sudden, Daryl comes back inside the car and then hides. And then the Super Walker kills all of the walkers all around. Carol's wondering, what is going on? Like, this is absolutely insane. And, at that point, that's the scary thing, is like, they got to be quiet because that Super Walker is going to eventually go into the vehicle, right? And that Super Walker will easily break through the doors and everything and get inside that car. So how are they going to deal with that at that point? Because we saw them deal with the Super Walkers in the finale. They're very tough to kill. So that's going to add a whole other thing to this. Honestly, I think this scene here could be a really incredible action scene. Yeah, I really can't wait to see how they're going to deal with the Super Walker afterwards, because, I mean, you got to imagine that they're going to. There's no way it's going to be, I mean, maybe it plays out like that where the Super Walker kills a bunch of the walkers, but eventually the walkers just turn on the Super Walker. But that's the thing too, like, could the walkers actually turn on the Super Walker? I don't think the walkers are going to sense that the Super Walker is a threat or anything, right? Like, they're not going to know that the Super Walker is any different. I'm really interested in that. Like, how do walkers, or how are walkers going to respond to the Super Walkers? Do they treat them as like other walkers, or are they going to view them more as human? Like, I really wonder how a lot of that's going to play out here this season. There's a lot of questions I have. So yeah, anyways, I'm going to leave it here though. Definitely post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.